All right, so this Warworld thing Superman's caught up in looks intense, to say the least. We're diving into this whole saga, and we've got this super in-depth plot summary from Wikipedia. And wow, Superman's in for it this time.
Yeah, this isn't like some robot smashing in Metropolis. This is different.
Definitely different.
What gets me right away is how we're just thrown into it. Superman 2, like bam, brutal gladiatorial arena, Mongols calling the shots, and the planet itself, Warworld. It's the real enemy here, a place where everything's out to get you, even the sun. And for Superman, I mean, we're talking about a guy used to, bench pressing planets.
Right, like he could practically win a staring contest with a black hole.
Exactly. But here, he's vulnerable. He can bleed, he can get hurt, and that's something you don't see every day. It's like the whole playing field is tilted against him from the get-go.
No kidding. I mean, you said it, even the sun's working against him. Red sun, no powers, talk about a bad day. It kind of makes you think, though, what does strength even mean in a place like that?
That's the brilliance of this whole arc, right? It forces you to redefine what it means to be strong. Superman can't just punch his way out of this one.
Yeah, even Superman needs more than a few protein shakes in this situation.
This is about resilience, cunning, just the will to survive. I mean, it makes him, dare I say, relatable.
I mean, most of us aren't going to be tossing cars around anytime soon, so I get it. But Superman's not the only one feeling the heat here, right? You've got his son, John Kent, trying to figure out what it even means to be Superman.
Oh, man, the legacy thing.
Yeah.
That's some heavy stuff right there. Imagine being that kid, knowing you might have to step into those boots one day.
Talk about pressure. I'd probably just say pass the kryptonite and call it a day.
He actually talks to Damian Wayne about it, Robin.
Oh, wow, really? That's kind of an interesting pairing.
It's actually a really powerful moment in the story. Here you've got these two teenagers, both dealing with the weight of their parents' legacies, trying to find their own way in a world that expects them to be, well, super.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. There's a shared understanding there, for sure. It kind of makes you think that even heroes need someone to talk to. But getting back to Clark, he's walking into this whole mess, and he doesn't exactly have the Justice League on speed dial, does he?
Nope. He forms his own team, the Authority, which right off the bat tells us a few things. First off, Superman knows this isn't business as usual. We're talking about a whole different kind of threat here. The Authority, they're known for, let's just say, getting things done.
Flexible morals, maybe?
Yeah, flexible is one way to put it. So for Superman to team up with them, that's a big deal. Shows just how serious this whole thing is.
Yeah, desperate times, right? So he's got the Authority. He's staring down Mongol. But it doesn't take long for things to go south, does it?
Let's just say Superman learns pretty quickly that Warworld doesn't play fair. He gets captured.
No way. Seriously, Superman. Captured.
Yeah, and not just captured, he is stripped, and I mean completely stripped, of everything, his powers, his suit, his dignity, everything. Thrown into that arena, forced to fight. Talk about a symbol of hope getting dragged through the mud.
That's rough. But even in that situation, even at his lowest, he still manages to inspire, right? I mean, he befriends Krillux. And this is a guy who initially wants to, throw Superman under the space bus.
It's amazing, right? Krillux is the poster boy for Warworld's messed up system. He's seen nothing but suffering, so yeah, he's cynical. But Superman, even without his powers, he still sees the good in people. It's a long shot, trying to plant those seeds of hope, but he never gives up.
It's like trying to grow, I don't know, like a sunflower in a dumpster fire.
Pretty much. But here's where things get even more interesting. While Superman's trying to find some kind of common ground, you've got Midnighter, from the Authority, running around with his own, let's call it a direct approach to problem solving.
Uh-oh. That doesn't sound good. Direct how?
Well, Midnighter's whole thing is he's a pragmatist. He sees the suffering on Warworld and thinks the only way to stop it is to destroy the whole planet. Collateral damage be damned. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Can you really justify wiping out a whole planet, even if it's to stop something truly awful? And Superman, well, he's wrestling with that. He believes in life and second chances. It goes against everything he stands for to even consider that kind of extinction-level solution.
Yeah, no kidding. It's a tough one for sure. But while all this is going down, Superman ends up in this wasteland. Right. No powers, enemies all around him. Next thing you know, he's having a showdown with a bunch of old gods. It feels a little random, to be honest.
It might seem that way at first, but it's all connected. Think about it. Superman's stripped bare, literally and figuratively, forced to confront his own mortality. Then, bam! These ancient beings show up, representing something way bigger, way older than anything he's ever faced before. It's a test.
Okay, I'm listening. A test of what, exactly?
His spirit, his empathy, everything that makes Superman, well, super. I mean, remember that part in the Wikipedia summary where he has to choose between saving himself or this creature that's been torturing him? That's the kind of choice Mongol could never even comprehend.
And that's where he meets Byla. Right. In the wasteland.
Exactly. She guides him, challenges him, pushes him to dig deep, and eventually he earns the fire of Olgren.
Fire of what now? Okay, you're gonna have to break that one down for me.
It's like the fire of Olgren. It's like raw, pure potential, creation, destruction, all of it. But it's not just some cosmic weapon. It responds to Superman, to his goodness. It's a power he proves he deserves, time and time again.
Okay, I think I'm starting to get it. But back on Warworld, Mongol's not exactly throwing a pity party for Superman. What's he up to while all this old god stuff is happening?
Mongol, he feeds on fear, right? Control is his whole thing. But Superman, even locked up, he's managed to spark something in the Warzoons, a flicker of rebellion. And Mongol sees his perfect little system crumbling around him.
So does he, like, build a bigger cage or something?
Oh, he goes way further than that. He starts attacking other planets, trying to draw the United Planets into a war. Classic tyrant move.
Wow.
When things start falling apart, create more chaos.
And hope no one notices you're the one holding the matches.
Exactly. But here's the thing. While all this craziness is going down in space, back on Earth, things are heating up too.
Wait, Earth. What's happening back home?
Lois. She's not just sitting around waiting for the red sun to set right.
I wouldn't expect her to.
She's a force of nature, that one. Using everything she's got, her connections, her platform, to rally support for Superman. She even takes in Thaula, the Felosian refugee.
That's our Lois. Compassion in the face of galactic tyranny. So we've got Superman fighting for his life on Warworld, Lois rallying the troops back on Earth. What else is going on?
It's like this whole network of people working behind the scenes. John Henry Irons, Steel, he steps up, brings his tech to the fight. And his niece, Natasha, she stumbles onto this huge clue about the Genesis fragment.
So it's bigger than just Superman. It's like this whole chain reaction of people fighting back against impossible odds.
That's the thing about hope, right? It's contagious. It spreads. And even in the darkest corners of the universe, it can ignite something powerful.
So Superman's got this fire of Olgren pumping through him. He's like a beacon of hope in this whole messed up system. You'd think that's it, right? Problem solved. He unleashes this power and takes down Mongol. Mic drop. The end.
Yeah, not quite.
What do you mean?
See, that's what makes this whole thing so powerful, the way it all unfolds. It's not as simple as just punching your way to victory. Superman wrestles with this.
Okay.
You know, the idea of even using the fire of Olgren, like he could go full supernova on a Mongol, but at what cost?
So it's like this double-edged lightsaber. You can win the fight, but lose yourself in the process.
Exactly. It's like he's staring down this abyss of an eye for an eye, and that's just not Superman. And meanwhile, Mongol's not just sitting back watching the clock, right? He's still got some tricks up his sleeve.
Well, he is a dictator with a penchant for the dramatic. What did he do?
He turns some of Superman's own allies against him.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah. Talk about a low blow. Uses his powers to twist their minds, their loyalties. It's brutal.
That's cold. So Superman's stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Got Mongol on one side, his own friends turned against him on the other. How does he even begin to fight back against that?
That's the thing about Superman. He finds another way. He always says, in their final showdown, the Red Sun generators, they get destroyed.
Right.
Superman's powers come roaring back.
Talk about an entrance. So it's Superman versus Mongol, round 2, this time with extra solar flares.
Yeah, but even then, Superman, he hesitates. He doesn't want to stoop to Mongol's level. He wants to believe there's still some good in him. And then Mongol does the unthinkable.
The child.
Yeah, it's a gut punch. A final act of cruelty meant to break Superman. And in that moment, you see it, right? The shift. Superman lets go. He unleashes the fire of Olgren. But it's not about revenge, it's about justice. It's about showing Mongol and everyone else that true strength comes from compassion, not control.
So what about Krillux? He's been on this whole journey with Superman. How does he factor into all of this?
That's the crazy part. Krillux, the guy who represents everything Warworld is supposed to be, he's the one who ends Mongol's reign. He delivers the final blow. It's this unexpected twist that shows how deeply Superman's hope has taken root.
Wow, that's something else. So Warworld is free, Mongol is gone, Superman wins. But something tells me this isn't a fairy tale ending.
No, it's not. There's a heaviness to it, a sense of loss. Warworld might be free, but the fight for a better tomorrow, well, that's just beginning.
It makes you wonder, what would you do? If you were in Superman's shoes, Faced with those impossible choices, what